Hello everyone, I'm Luck, and Kengan Ashura is officially finished and I need to talk about it. Because personally, I think it's an incredible anime and it's on my top 10 favorite animes of all time. Now what makes it stand out? Well, that's basically what this video is going to be talking about. Because I think Kengan Ashura does a lot of very unique things in a genre that already has some amazing titles. Also, don't worry about any spoilers because this video won't have any, so just sit down and relax. Now, before we dive any deeper, let me give you a quick overview of the plot. Kengan Ashura follows Oma Tokita, who starts fighting in hidden underground fights where mega corporations in Japan settle the disputes through brutal one-on-one battles. Each corporation sponsors a fighter, and they compete to win control and influence. Oma eventually ends up in the Kengan Annihilation Tournament, which is this huge tournament filled with 32 fighters competing for Japan's biggest companies. This pretty much just makes the whole anime a bunch of awesome fights, and when I say awesome fights, I mean awesome. Kengan Ashura doesn't just give us fight, it gives us visceral, adrenaline pumping spectacles that feels intense and real. I personally love the animation style, despite it being a mix of 3D and 2D, and even think the 3D is one of the anime's strongest points. It might not be everyone's favorite at first, but it grows on you. And you know what? By the time you're a few episodes in, you can't imagine the fights any other way. Now the animation isn't perfect, some moments have notably much lower quality than others, and the animation outside of the fights are just okay, but personally, I think that's a good move. I'm here to watch fights, so I like it when they save the budget for where it should go. And even the lower quality fights look better than Blue Lock Season 2, so I mean it shouldn't be that big of a deal breaker once you start watching. One of the absolute coolest things about Kengan Ashura is how accurately it portrays martial arts. Now, I'm personally a huge martial arts nerd. I've tried a bunch and I've even gone quite far in boxing, and I love the attention to detail and the way everything is animated. It doesn't just rely on flashy over-the-top moves for the sake of spectacle. Instead, it really tries to dig into the nuance of real techniques and real fighting styles like jiu-jitsu, karate, sumo and boxing. You can tell the creator put a lot of effort into ensuring that each fighter's style feels genuine, and for martial arts fans, that's a huge plus. For example, take Cosmo Imai, who's personally one of my favorite characters. He's a Brazilian jiu-jitsu prodigy who uses chokes, grapples and holds to outmaneuver stronger opponents. The detail put into his techniques, like ground control and submission holds, feel grounded in real combat. Every character moves and fights according to their style, making each fight a showcase of skill and strategy rather than just raw power. This makes it so every fight feels unique because every character has a distinct fighting style. Whether it's grappling, striking, or some intense combination of both, Kengan Ashura shows you how different techniques and philosophies clash, making each match way more than just a slugfest. The fighters are also enhanced by just how amazing their characters are. There's honestly too many to go over. I feel that fighting anime often lacks in complex characters, which isn't a big deal when you're there to just watch some cool fights, but Kengan is different and puts a focus on most of the characters. This roster of characters makes every fight unpredictable, and it brings depth to the tournament. You get invested in more than just one outcome of each match. You're invested in each fighter's journey, even if it's just 1 or 2 episodes. And I feel like it's one of Kengan's strong points. Then, of course, there's our protagonist, Oma Tokita. He's a classic underdog with a mysterious past, but Oma's story isn't just about fighting to get stronger, it's about his inner struggles, his relationship with his mentor, and how he learns what it means to truly fight. Throughout the series, you see Oma grow, not just in terms of skill, but as a person. Each fighter has their own motivations, quirks and backstories that makes them more than just obstacles for Oma to overcome. The show dives into these characters and gives us personal stories and struggles. So even when they're technically bad guys, they end up being interested and you end up respecting them. We get to see all these characters evolve and grow during the tournament, and I'd love to make videos on each one later down the line because I love all of them. Now, I personally wasn't a big fan of Oma in the beginning. He's pretty bland and one-sided, but after his fight with Ryan is when I started to like him more and more, and at the end of the show he managed to become one of my favorite characters, which I think is very impressive. Something else that's impressive is the world building in Kengan Ashura, because it's on another level. It's another thing that I think deserves more attention. This isn't just a tournament for fame or glory, it's this brutal corporate world where companies send fighters to represent them in battle, putting their money and power on the line. It's such a unique twist on the tournament format because every fight has these higher stakes, not just for the fighters but for the entire corporate landscape. We're talking about huge corporations and underground organizations investing in fighters, and that adds a layer of intrigue to everything. It's like each fight has this shadow of political and economic power looming over it, and it makes every victory and every defeat hit much harder. On top of that, the series goes deep into the history and relationship between fighters, sponsors, and even criminal organizations, which creates this intriguing web of alliances and rivals that keeps you hooked. And let's just talk about the soundtrack for a second, because Kengan's music hits hard and it's so underrated. I often go out for runs and I always listen to Kengan's soundtrack because, oh my god, it's so good. It definitely makes each fight more loaded and intense, and there's a plethora of themes too for pretty much every character, which I personally really appreciate. It also has some fire openings, so that's just a plus. But in the end, Kengan Ashura isn't just a fighting anime, it's a raw, intense exploration of what it means to be a fighter. From the brutal yet beautifully choreographed battles to the diverse roster of fighters, this series delivers something truly unique. So if you're into martial arts, or even just looking for an anime that's going to keep you on your edge of your seat, Kengan Ashura is an absolute must-watch, and I couldn't recommend it more. I couldn't recommend it enough. But that's basically it for this video. It's pretty quick and not that in-depth because I just want to get into the habit of making videos again. But if you enjoyed it, then leave a like, of course, and please subscribe because you know your boy would appreciate it. Also, if you've seen Kengan Ashura, please comment some stuff about it. I love Kengan Ashura and I'd love to hear about your favorite characters, favorite fight, or anything like that. You can expecting a lot of more Kengan Ashura content because goddamn I love this anime, and you can just be expecting more content in general. But thank you for watching and have a wonderful day.